Hey everybody, so this is a different type of video than what I usually do because I, drumroll, a few nights ago, just went and traveled a little ways away from where I live to Athens in Georgia because yes, that's where I'm from. I'm not saying exactly where, but that's the state. To see me to see the current U.S. tour of Mean Girls the Musical. Now, for those who don't know, Mean Girls the Musical is basically a more modern telling of the musical version of the movie from 2000s, and of course, the Broadway production had Barrett Orford Weed as Janice, Gray Hubbard as Damien, Erica Hemmingson as Katie. But this is the current U.S. tour, and I saw it last night at the not last night, but Thursday night in Athens at the Classic Center Theater, and this is essentially my review on what I thought of the cast. All right. Speaking of the cast, let me open the preview. Let me open it. Okay, in order, we have as Caddy Heron, Natalie Shaw, who might I just say was on par with Erica Hemmingson. I absolutely adored her Katie. Then we have Maya Petropoulos as Regina, and something that I loved about her Regina is she wasn't blonde like Renee Rapp was, or like how Taylor Louderman was in the original Broadway cast. And I think Regina works better as a brunette because Maya is brunette. Then as Gretchen, we have Kristen Amanda Smith. And funny enough, as much as I like listening to Shelley Park's version of What's Wrong With Me on the cast recording, but I feel like Kristen as Gretchen made me like What's Wrong With Me more. Like, man, I think maybe because Kristen's the one I saw live, so she's my Gretchen technically. Yeah, she was amazing. And then we have Mary Rose Brindle as Karen Smith, who her energy was on par with Kate Rockwell, who played the show originally on Broadway. And like, honestly, looking at her picture, the two kind of look similar. I have to say, she played Karen, but like, she didn't make her smart, but she didn't play her like all too dumb because, well, Karen's not dumb. To quote Kate Rockwell, her head is here, and her body is just down here. But I digress. Then as Janice, we have Alexis Morera, and personally, I feel like Alexis was better than Barrett Orford Weed. And don't get me wrong, I like Barrett Orford Weed's version of Janice on the cast recording, but I feel like Alexis's Janice was more genuine as the character. So that's probably why I like her more. Then we have Then as Damien, there was Ethan Hidjuk. And honestly, I think as much as I love Damien Hubbard, especially considering I supported his current show and bought the Shucks program off of the Shucks musical store, I feel like Ethan's version of Damien was actually better, and I actually liked his version of Stop. Again, I like Stop, but mainly because I think Ethan, I look more like him, except for, I'm not Asian. But still, he looks more like me. So I think that's why I relate to him more than Gray's version, because Damien's hair is curly while mine is straight and black. But anyways, enough about my tangent. Okay, moving on. As Miss Heron, Norbury, and George, we had Kristen. We played on the tour by Kristen Sergio. And Kristen, like, honestly, she rocked as Mrs. George. Like, to be quite honest, she made me like at Cool Mom. No disrespect to her. No disrect to the original Broadway cast. Carrie Butler is a goddess. But I have more of an attachment to this one because I've seen her live. So, that's just my preference. But I digress. Moving on, as Aaron Samuels, we have Joseph Torres. And, like, it's kind of funny. Kyle Seeley, who played the role on Broadway, like, he seemed really, like, I've seen bootleg of some materials of him. And also on the cast recording, his Aaron and Joseph's, like, seem polar opposites. Like, one is more of the easygoing and you know, caring Aaron, while the other is more, I mean, they're both easygoing, but but one just has more charisma, I think I'm trying to say. But either way, next as Mr. Duvall, we have Sean Mathers. And Sean, like part of his cast, like, when I heard that the cast announcement was out, I was shocked at how young, with this cast, I was shocked at how young Sean was. And I'm like, wow. And you couldn't even tell during the show. So, good on you, Sean. You played Mr. Duvall hilariously. And last, but by certainly no means least, Justin Phillips. Who, if I'm not, okay, I'm gonna check who played. I have no idea who Tyler Kay is, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Also, but they all did great. All right. So as for what my thoughts were on the lyric changes, because yes, I am very much aware that that the show has been heavily changed from when it was on Broadway, and they even, before the Broadway production closed, they had added that version in, and that was the final thing, and that was what not Erica Hensing, but Sabrina Carpenter did as for her two performances as Katie, which because Sabrina Carpenter deserved a better run, a longer run, but that's a whole separate video. Anyways, as for this tour cast, this was the non-equity tour. So, like there are like a lot of rules and stipulations about non-equity tours, like not having as vast a set, but honestly, I don't think that really mattered in this production. And like the cast, like they carried the show. Natalie Shaw's version of Stupid with Love honestly was awesome. Maya's version of World Burn blew both Renee and Taylor's versions out of the water. And like I said, Kristen's version of Gretchen, no disrespectation to Christina Alabato or Ashley Park, but she put her own unique spin on Gretchen, and I felt like she gave the character more depth than I had seen in say like slime tutorials, but that's probably because I saw the show live. And you experience the show differently live than you do on a slime tutorial. And before anyone gets mad at me for watching slime tutorials, hey, I have now seen the show. But I digress. Okay. The songs in the show I've loved since I first heard the cast recording a couple of years ago. And to be honest, my favorite has always been I'd Rather Be Me, World Burn, Stupid with Love, and I See Stars. And all four of those songs were knocked straight out of the park. And actually, Mary Rose probably delivered one of my favorite versions of Sexy. She's on par with Kate Rockwell. And that's high praise. So, my only critique is on myself, because I decided to see the show in a city about 3 hours from where I live. So, that, I had to spend the night somewhere, which a lot of people, I'm sure, do. So, it's not exactly that's a big thing. But, so that's basically my only critique. Though, a funny thing that happened, this isn't a critique on her, but, it's just something I noticed during the show. Well, it's two things. One, when they're in the Froyo scene, before Whose House Is This? When they're planning the party. I guess the set, the cast didn't, look which one that they had up, because the sign said Yo Fro, and not Froyo. And, during the competition of Do This Thing, not a critique on her, just, it's something I noticed, Natalie Shaw, stumbled with the pencil as she was writing the answer. She caught it, but, it's things like that make me love live theater. And also, as you can probably tell from my shirt, a friend of mine graciously bought me the Stack shirt, and I have been wearing it, literally, all the time since I bought it 3 days ago. So essentially, that's... And also, a fun fact, I actually got to see an understudy in the show, and I gotta say, the understudy was on for Mr. Carr / others, that track, and he actually did really good. I loved getting to see understudies. I hope to see more understudies, and when I see more professional theater further down the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think? What have you think? Did you think of the Mean Girls, of the current U.S. Mean Girls tour? If you've seen it, let me know in the comments, and let's further discuss various things I semi-mentioned in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. More theater news to come. More theater reviews to come in the future, maybe. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.